I was having a hard time at work. It was during COVID, extra work, take work home. I wasn't there for the kids because of that extra load of work. Went to my husband and I told him, you know what, this is like overwhelming. My job is just a little demanding, and what do you think? And he's like, well, let's go ahead and talk to your dad. My dad's like, I've been there for so long. I know the recipes. I see the clientele. We can do it. I told my dad, okay, Dad, let's do it.
Well, I love the San Gabriel Valley.
Welcome to the My SGV podcast.
So I grew up here and I still live in Alhambra.
I was raised in between Temple City and Alhambra.
Eventually resided in South San Gabriel.
Our mission is to capture and share the stories of the people of the San Gabriel Valley.
Monterey Park has pretty much been my whole life.
Well, I'm proud to say that I was born and raised in the San Gabriel Valley.
We believe our diversity is what makes the SGV great. And no matter where you are from in the San Gabriel Valley, you will feel welcome. All right, SGVers, welcome back to another episode of the My SGV podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you are new here, we bring you the stories of the people of the San Gabriel Valley. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We very much appreciate it. Well, Sandra, before I went to go visit you and have this first conversation with you, did you already know that pot pie was one of my favorite foods?
No, I didn't.
I've shared that on the story before, or the show before. Going to Marie Callender's, no matter what, I would always order pot pie. I love pot pie.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's what we're there for.
Yeah. And if you've never tried pot pie, you have to try pot pie. I don't know who doesn't like pot pie.
Yes, you have to. You have to try it.
Have you ever met someone who said that they don't like pot pie?
No.
But maybe someone who has never tried it before.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Or they may ask, what is a pot pie?
Yes, and they're like, I've heard of it, but I've never really tried it, or there wasn't any place where I know that it would, be noteworthy to try.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, it just dawned on me right now. I don't even know what the origins of pot pie are.
Well, I think originally from the original Moffetts, Henry Moffetts, I was in 1913, and they were from Missouri. So their stories from Missouri, there are those roots from, I guess, having all those fresh vegetables and, that home comfort cooking. I
see. Okay. So like a Midwest tradition then.
Yes.
Maybe, and there probably has some European ancestry or something.
German ancestry.
So I'm curious to get into your whole story, but before that, I want to thank Paris Baguette for sponsoring the delicious pastries and treats each and every week for our guests. If you haven't already, go check them out in the city of San Gabriel. They give us a choice of all sweet or all savory, and our previous guest took a box of all savory. So we'll see what you choose at the end here. But go check them out in San Gabriel on Las Tunas and say hi to Jason and Joanna for us. She grew up in El Monte, just across the street from her grandmother, surrounded by the scent of home-cooked meals and the sound of hard work. The daughter of two tireless parents, her father still at Moffett's Kitchen Pie Shop after 45 years. Her mother, a dietary cook for over 4 decades. She learned early that family, faith, and perseverance are the foundation of everything worth building. After a successful career in human resources, she returned to her roots and stepped into the family business, helping guide one of the SGV's most beloved restaurants into a new generation. With her husband by her side, 3 children to inspire, and a legacy to protect, she's proving that tradition and modern leadership can thrive together when fueled by heart, humility, and purpose. Please welcome to the show, Sandra Gomez. Sandra, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for coming. And the way that we met was really weird. Not weird, but...
God always has the right timing. So I just, that's how I see it.
I see. And just for those who don't know, I was shopping at Restaurant Depot, and I'm always curious who I'm going to meet there because, there's restaurant owners there. I don't think I knew what you own, but I knew that you're restaurant owners.
Okay. Yeah, it's something we do on the weekend. My husband and I will take turns. My dad will also go during the week. So that's like a way of spending time together and, getting things done.
So I was there to only buy one item, and then I see you guys rolling out this whole cart stuff. And I was like, that's a restaurant owner right there, right? So I went up to you and I was like, oh, do you guys own a restaurant? And then when you said Moffett's, I was like, oh, I know of Moffett's and I really like it. So I'm really glad that we connected in that way.
Yes.
So
thank you.
So Sandra, this is called the My SGV podcast. What is your connection to the San Gabriel Valley?
Okay. Well, I was raised in El Monte for the first 10 years of my life. So having roots there, always had us returning back. My brothers still get their haircut there, after, moving out about 25, 30 years ago. So after being in Almani for 10 years, we went to Baldwin Park. And that's where, we had that foundation of, elementary, junior high, high school, those friendships and those wonderful memories of meeting, noteworthy people like my husband.
Oh, I see. Okay. So first 10 years in El Monte, then Baldwin Park.
Yes.
Do you remember what it was like growing up in El Monte?
Yes. To me, it felt safe. It felt like, we just walk to school, go to the Boys and Girls Club, and just, visit your local market. And, everything was real close, walking distance. So that's what I liked. If it wasn't walking distance, my grandma would take us on the trolley. And, that's how we would commute, to church or, just to the local swap meets and things like that.
Was the trolley a quarter?
You know what? I don't remember. I just remember it was fun because, the shape of the one in Almani is like those ones in San Francisco. It's not like what you normally see nowadays, the public transportation. Mm-hmm.
I asked that because I remember Monterey Park had a trolley and it was a quarter. Yeah, and it was shaped like a San Francisco trolley.
Yes. So that's why it made it like fun.
What's one of your fondest memories of growing up there?
I think living so close to my grandma, where it just felt like, okay, I'm just gonna go visit my grandma, and we would independently, my mom would watch us cross the street, and it was like she was like so like fearful, but it's like it's just across the street, and it was just something that we enjoyed going to, the local liquor store, going to buy chips, which were, I remember, like 10 cents. And it was just fun to have her in close proximity.
I guess having your grandma across the street is pretty special.
Yes. She was there most of the time because my parents were always at work. That's, their parenting, just, try to make a living and, bring food to the table and just provide that for us. So my grandma was kind of like that other part of the parenting that we needed. She would take us to school and she would pick us up. So
yeah, actually having that, multi-generational family support is not only needed, but like very special to have. I wish every child had that.
Yes.
Growing up.
Yes, I agree. It had like those values and those morals that, laid that foundation.
And I've not been around my grandparents. Actually, I don't know any of them. But what I see is like they have much more patience, than parents at times because they've gone through it all. Right?
Yes, and I see that in my parents too, that they're just different with my kids than they were with us. But yeah, patience and the extra love, I guess it's what that shows.
Yeah. And so you were uprooted from that at quite a young age. And what was that like for you?
Yes, I had to leave like my friends. And it was, at that age is like your world is just, everything, school and your friends. But moving to Baldwin Park, my brothers were just 5. So they didn't really have, that hardship of losing any friends or anything like that. It took some getting used to. I know my other grandma from my other side, my dad's mom, she came from out of town to help us, like take us to school and, help us fill that void because my other grandma, she didn't drive. So obviously it was kind of like hard also to be separated from her.
Oh yeah, not only your friends, but you could just go across the street and see her, and now you can't anymore.
Yes. So that was a little hard, but we would still go there every weekend. It took some time for us to get acclimated, I guess. We would still go grocery shopping in Almani for I think about 2 years because it was just like my parents were just like so used to being in El Monte that it was just part of like, it's not a big deal. We'll drive there and go to the grocery store. But
yeah. What's one of your fondest memories with your grandma from your early age?
I think she's a woman of faith, so I think going to those church events and it's different. It's like a half day thing, so we would go to like in the morning and be with like Bible study and just have her influence us in that way was a big part of growing up.
So now in your quite formative years, you're living in a new place in Baldwin Park. And I just had a conversation with someone the other day about Baldwin Park. They're like, yeah, my friends are like, yeah, you can just go hang out and, walk around at night and it's all cool. And she's like, that's not the Baldwin Park that I grew up in, And so the Baldwin Park that I remember was a little rough, like kind of scary to go to. Did you experience some of that?
I didn't, as a kid, it was just normal to walk all the way from high school. It was probably like over a mile, and every day walking to school and walking back, to me, it didn't feel like there was any threat, and it was pretty much, well-rounded.
Would you let your kids walk a mile?
No, I don't think they would even think of, accepting me letting them walk over a mile. If they have their headphones and they're not looking, I don't want them to get run over. It's just like my instinct, just overthinker, like, no, just I'll either Uber or I'll pick them up or I'll figure it out. But that's not in my radar for them to
it's like a different world, right?
Yes.
Because my mom, I think I remember like first grade, second grade, like huge backpack on, walking. And she wouldn't even she's like, I'll see you later when you get home from work at like 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, or walking in the rain. It was just like, okay, well, I got to get to school.
No cell phones.
No
right?
cell phones. Pay phones. Perhaps, like call, like mom pick me up, call collect. My kids will never know how that was. Like, hurry up, mom, I'm about to get out of school, pick me up. Like,
Yeah. Would you receive a call from, hurry up.
yeah, it's like a collect call. And it's sad that they won't know all these fun things that we laugh about that we didn't realize, that they wouldn't go through those similar situations.
Yeah. Okay. So beyond walking, so this is like truthfully, you did walk a mile to go to school every day.
Yes.
So beyond that, what was life like growing up in Baldwin Park for you?
To me, I enjoyed growing up in Baldwin Park. We had our, local P&G's was like the hamburger spot by the high school. Everybody would recruit there. If you couldn't get out of school for lunch, somebody would bring you some food. I was in band and color guard, so that was my world, and it was very fulfilling.
Band and color guard.
Yes.
Oh, cool. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So since I was a freshman, I guess, our parents, if they had extra money, it wasn't like, okay, can I have a cheerleader outfit? Can I have this? So it was more like, okay, what can I adapt to things that are in our price budget? So cheerleading outfit was out of the question. Shoes and things like that. It wasn't something that I wasn't gonna, have to ask my parents to sacrifice, extra income for that. So I said, okay, well, let's try something else. And color guard was an option, which wasn't really anything that I really had to invest in. And for band, during the winter, you had woodwinds, and you would get an instrument loaned to you. So
it sounds like you had some awareness of what your family could afford and what they couldn't.
Yeah, I didn't. My dad always said, like, before school, I had to go take the cows and take them to drink water, and I had to bring them back and all this before 8 a.m. because that's what time school would start. He had to get the bus, or he had to walk a couple miles to get to school. So that was always instilled in me, where like, those hardships that he had and how good we have it. So it was always like instilled in me, like, I don't think it's a good idea for me to ask for these new Nikes so I understood. I understood that they had sacrifices, and I should have sacrifices as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's tough though, as a teenager.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, it's like, okay, no big deal. Like it wasn't about like who's wearing the new shoes or anything like that. It was just about enjoying being a kid, I guess.
Oh man, the shoes. Do you remember Payless?
Yes, of course.
Do you remember how it smelled when you went in there?
Yes.
I was freaking excited to go to Payless, I had no idea that Payless were like low income shoes. I had no idea until some kid pointed that out to me.
Same here.
That rocked my world. I was like, oh, these are not cool. Like, oh man.
Yeah, that takes us back. That takes us back because, their parenting skills were just, what they thought was okay and what wasn't the norm. It's just like, okay, put shoes and clothes on your back and food on the table and,
But looking back, like I did not need $100 pair of Jordans, right?
I didn't either.
And my mom would buy them like, always bigger because she's like, you're going to grow into them.
Yes.
And now as a parent, I'm like, dang, their feet grow fast.
They do. They do.
Like, I'm like, parents need a Payless. Parents need a place where they can just buy like cool shoes that, are going to grow quickly. They're going to get out of them. But man.
Yes. Or remember hand-me-downs,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have sisters. So I have brothers. They're twins. So they had each other. So they, were able to share outfits and things like that. But not having a sister, I had an older cousin. So that was where that hand-me-downs or just, that big sister looking up to her was a part of my life.
So I'm getting a sense of who you were at this time, right? And then there's like a level of maturity that you have to have that it sounds like that was instilled by your father and in your family growing up. And so you seem to have found an outlet in...
yes, these extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that was your whole world.
Yeah, it was. It was, who you hang out during lunch and, who you really... enjoy those special moments of like, okay, lunch and brunch, who are you gonna hang out with and things like that. So that was my section.
I see. And this is about you, the show is about you, but your father was working at Moffett's during this time, right?
Yes. So he's worked at Moffett since he was 18. So yeah. So I remember for birthdays, I would get a pumpkin pie or just a pie from the shop and, a balloon. And that was like my birthday cake per se.
Wow. Since 18, he's been there.
Yes.
And so you probably celebrated a lot of
yes.
things there as a family.
Yes, we did. We celebrated. I would ask, oh, Dad, can I go there for my birthday? And he would probably think like, I'm there every day, like really, but no, he didn't like really make it like a big deal. Like, no, let's go somewhere else. No, like, we would always go there. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, very special place then.
Yes.
So, did you know who you were and what you wanted to be at this time in your life in high school?
No, I didn't. I just knew, I have to go to college. So the big thing back in the days was like, okay, either military for if the Army was going to do a GI Bill, okay. They're gonna provide money for college, so that was like where I was heading. If my parents can't afford it, then there'll be a way, and I would, make that happen. So what I did was for ROP, I did law enforcement. I didn't want to go into that field, but I knew that I need to have that physical endurance. So we would do, a lot of running, a lot of exercising, and I knew that that's what it was going to take for me to, pass boot camp or whatnot.
So did you join the military?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't.
Okay, so you had this plan.
I had the vision, I had the plan,
okay.
And then, God has other plans. But
so what happened after high school?
So after high school, my first job after high school was at Moffett's.
Oh, okay.
So I got to work with my dad for about 4 months until I turned 18, and then you go into the clerical work, the office work, and going to school at the same time.
So why didn't you join the military?
Why didn't I join the military? It's a very good question. I don't know. It was just probably all my friends were going into the Marines, the Army, and I guess the lifestyle that they had was, they were writing letters to each other, and it just felt like they were so distant from their family, and I didn't think that I would adapt to that.
Oh, wow. Wow, interesting. Sorry, you said you were working at Moffett's at 17, so you graduated early.
Yes.
So I also graduated at 17, and then I went to the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. But October of my senior year, I was 16, and I was like, oh, Mom, how am I going to go to college? And, and she's like, well, there's no money, so you're going to have to work. I was like, oh, this is different from what I see on TV and movies. Like what I see on TV is like all the parents are always saving up this college fund, right?
Right.
I was like, okay. So, then I was like, what am I going to do? So the Army had the most money from all the branches.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like in, I don't know, January, February, I was like, hey, Mom, my friends are going to come over for dinner, okay? She's like, okay. And they were my recruiters and they're like dress screens. She had no idea.
Oh.
And she was like, okay. but she trusted that I had already had this plan. So she had to sign for me to leave because I was 17. But that's what I did.
Did you feel that you were ready?
I had my platoon sergeant in Germany say to me, like, he's like, you were probably the way you were before the Army. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. So the Army didn't really change anything about me because I had endured so much before going up into that.
Okay.
Even physically, like I was like laughing because it was in pretty good shape before I went to the Army. And there's a wide range of people in shape.
Okay.
And most of them are not in shape.
Okay.
So I would say that physically and mentally, the Army was nothing for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But being away is definitely the hardest. And I would say for most soldiers, being away from their friends, their family, their loved ones is the hardest part. So you probably made a good decision if you couldn't handle that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So you went to work at Moffett's for 4 months.
Yes.
And then you went into like clerical stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then going to school at the same time.
Okay. And so what was your dream at that point? What did you really want to
My
pursue?
goal was just, to go to college. That was like just instilled, like, after high school, you just have to go to college. And, being a first generation, like that's like making your family proud was a big goal for me. That's where I met my husband.
Okay.
So
tell us about
timing.
that. Yeah, tell us about that. How did you meet him?
So back in the days, if you didn't have money, you go to school at night. So not a lot of courses are available at night. All the good courses are available in the morning. And if there's any available at night, they're taken. So we had DeVry University. So that's where we met. So I was working full time. And then after that, go to DeVry. So it was like from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh man, that's rough.
And that's what was available at that time to make it work.
So how did you guys connect? Were you in the same class, or how did that come about?
We first met my freshman year of high school. So we had a Spanish class together.
Okay.
So, a whole year together. And then after that, the school's not that big, but we didn't see each other. We didn't have any classes together. He was a year older than me. I just don't remember seeing him. I remember seeing he has a best friend, and my best friend were really good friends. So I would always see him, but not my husband. And then when I went to DeVry, everybody has to do lab time in the computer room. So that's when we had computer rooms. And that's where I saw him again. So about 4 years later.
And who asked who out?
He did.
Okay.
He did, yeah. Yeah, he asked for my phone number. So, and it's funny because I had a cell phone number, but for some reason I just gave him my house number. This when we had house numbers.
Sure.
So, I guess it was just something that just happened. So I told my mom, if so and so calls, can you please give him my cell phone number because he doesn't have it. So, sure enough, he called and I wasn't home. Who was home, when you have a busy schedule with work and school. And yeah, he got my number and he called.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's where it started.
Remember when people used to call like in high school and like your mom picks up the phone, you're like, here's the phone.
Yes. Or you remember when you had you didn't have a cordless phone? So you had a phone and it had a really, really long cord and you're like trying to do stuff around the house and you're still on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. Or you could both pick up the phone in different rooms.
Exactly. So my brothers did that. Yeah, my brothers did that. One would pick up the phone and pretend he was the other one. And then the other one was over there listening. Oh, it was just funny, too much.
Yeah, wow. Those are funny times, a long time ago. Okay, so then you guys met and when did you guys get married from after you guys met?
So we met and then probably 3.5 years later we got married. So first we had our daughter, Jocelyn. coming from, school and work, and then, forming a family. It wasn't something that I guess we really were ready for, to get married, but we knew, we love each other. So it was just a matter of time. But yeah, so she was about 3 years old when we got married.
And how many children do you have?
We have 3.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we have 3 kids.
Oh, okay. And so now you guys are building a life together, building a family together. And what did you guys want to do? Like, did you want to pursue something as a couple, or have your own like separate goals in terms of career, or what did that look like?
So I loved being a mom. I was lucky enough to stay at home with my kids for about a year or 2 after they were born. I think that's what I feel is my calling. I just feel, I love my kids. And my husband started his career in the water field, so he was already working towards that goal. So it was just kind of like supporting him. He would still go to work and then still be taking classes and, trying to improve and grow in his career. I knew that, I liked numbers, accounting, and, being like a secretary. So to me, there wasn't really a set goal as to like, I want to be an architect or something like that. It was just like my main focus was being a mom.
Sure. Yeah. That's like the most important job too.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm blessed that my wife is a stay-at-home mom with our kids, and it's like the hardest job. Always on, always having to do so many things. The hours are just all the time, every day.
Yes.
And yeah, that's super, super hard.
Yeah. There's no, I'm going to call off sick. No.
Yeah.
There's none of that. So yeah, I praise all the women that are able to stay with their kids and help them, grow and learn from them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's something very unnatural and sad about saying, okay, now you have to go to this stranger for most of the day.
Yes, and that happened to me later on in life, where I had to drop off, my kids with the sitter, and then the sitter would have to take them to school or to the dentist, and I just felt like robbed of like, that's my job, and it didn't feel good. But you have to make sacrifices, and it was for a short time. But my kids will tell me, I remember when so and so would take me to school, and I didn't want them to feel that I was an absent parent. My parents did it at a sacrifice, and when it was my turn, it was just for a short period of time, but I made sure that I was still playing a big role in their life. And if they had a field trip or if they had an event, I would take time off and be there for them, for parent conference or whatnot. So
even though I intellectually knew the things that I wanted to be and do for my kids, what I found myself doing was focusing so much on providing. And then either through my wife, I think through my wife, that I did this exercise to think about all the things from my dad that mattered, and none of them had to do with money. It was all just about like him being there with me, spending time with me. Like those were all the powerful memories. And I was like, oh, he could have done all of those things and had no money. And I was like, oh man, real like mental shift in what really matters to them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree.
Okay, so now your father's still working at Moffett's
Yes.
at this time.
Yes.
Yeah. And before we get into how you came back to that business, we ask each guest to bring something with them. What did you bring with you today?
I brought my Smurfette.
Okay,
From
can
the
you show
80s.
this camera? Okay, Smurfette. Oh yeah. Awesome. And why is that special for you?
So she is special to me because this was actually my nickname. So if you grow up in a Hispanic family or other, minorities, everyone has a nickname. And to me, being a first born on my dad's side in the United States, I had a nickname. So that was my nickname, Pitufa. Which is Spanish for Smurfette. So for some odd reason, that's the name that was given to me. So growing up until maybe adulthood, it kind of started dying down. But that was my nickname. It's an 80s toy, but the kids nowadays, they think it's their new cartoon, but actually from the 80s. So being a baby's 80, that was my nickname, and that's how lovingly my family called me.
Do you know why?
They just thought that, like she's so tiny, and she reminds me of a little Smurfette.
Oh, okay.
That's their justification of them loving me and calling me Pitufa.
Do they still call you that?
No, it kind of like I said, it kind of died down after being adult. I never said, don't call me that, but until a couple of years ago, it kind of faded.
Thanks for bringing that in and sharing that story. I didn't know that all Hispanic families had that, but when I was in the Army, most of my friends were Latino, and they all had nicknames. And they gave me a nickname too. Yeah, but their nicknames, these were like former gang members. So they were like Flaco, Pelon, Mousy, Sleepy. Like they had all those nicknames. So my last name, which is changed now because this is my mom's first husband's last name rather than mine. Okay. But my name is Fukui. So they called me Kukui.
Okay, yeah.
Just because of the sound is same. But I know what the kukui is, though.
Yes,
it's like the boogeyman, right?
Yes, the boogeyman.
But that was my nickname. So I was like,
cool.
they gave me a nickname.
Then that means you were well-rounded and loved,
I see. Well, so tell us how where in your journey are you now? So now you're a mother to your children. You get to stay at home with them, but you went back to work.
Yes, I
at some
went back
point.
to work. Yeah, I went back to work. For us to provide for our family, and every generation always says, my dad sacrificed, staying in the same job for so long, and we have to work and work towards buying a house and just providing for our family.
Okay, so where did you go back to work at that point?
So after I went to a job agency, so that's they're still around, but yeah, I went to a job agency and I worked at Pacific American Fish Company, which is in Vernon. I worked there for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh.
So
what did you do there?
I did a little bit of everything. So I started off doing marketing. Then I did graphic design, and then procurement, and just moved up and kind of learned all the trades. The one thing that I loved working there was that I was able to meet different people from different ethnicities. I worked the owners are Korean, then the salesmen were Vietnamese, Chinese. So I was able to learn some of the phrases and just the culture and the cuisine. So in all, that's what I remember, and that's what I also learned about fish, what kadoa is and what not to what to look out for and what not to purchase. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Had you not been exposed to Asian cuisine before then? No. Oh, so what did you get to try at that time?
So sashimi.
Okay.
And just learning.
You like it?
Yeah, and learning about the different, I guess, scientific names and just what they look like, because as a Hispanic, either tilapia or salmon, and but I learned cuttlefish, rexo, unagi, kabayaki, and just other things. So it was a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to back up a little bit. What kind of mother were you to your kids when you were a stay-at-home mom?
I think I was super overprotective. Like,
Oh, super overprotective.
Yes. See, my dad, my parents, super overprotective. I'm the only daughter, so my brothers either, even though they were 5 years younger, they could do things that I couldn't even do at the time, because they were boys. You know, having that mentality of like, okay, boys, they can take care of each other, but not the girl. Like I said, like if I was on the phone, like my dad would like disconnect it, because like he was just very overprotective. So I think my parenting kind of like, you know, spilled over, having that being overprotective, but I just enjoyed it. I that's all I could say.
So you describe it as overprotective. So when you look back on it, do you wish that you had been different?
Sometimes I do, because, you know, in the real world, I don't want for them to have any like fearful thoughts of like, you know, like, oh, don't let them walk by themselves. Like, you got to chase them. No, you know, in life, in the real world, you know, they're going to have to learn to pick themselves up.
Yeah. Okay. And so where and how did the opportunity to take over Moffett's come about?
So there's been a couple of owners, but it's all still in the family. So the original owners, they were there for about 10 years, and they were a couple. So the wife had a brother, and then that brother took over. So the original owner's brother-in-law took over. And he was there for a couple of years, and then him and his brother went into partnership, and then he kind of like slowly phased out, and there was just one brother, the Burton brother. And unfortunately, he got sick, and that's when he said, like, you know, I'm not gonna be able to keep this place, and, you know, talk to my dad. And that's when my dad was approached us, my husband and I, and said, you know, they're offering, you know, to sell me the restaurant. What do you guys think? We're like, okay, it's okay. You know, like, I couldn't say, like, you know what, I'm gonna leave my career and go into a new venture. You know, I guess I was already comfortable in my career and my job, and I was happy, and I just didn't see the need for me to have a change. But so I told my dad, you know, Dad, I don't think, you know, we can, you know, move forward and work with this. So I was having a hard time at work. You know, it was during COVID, extra work, take work home. So, and then I wasn't there for the kids because of that extra, you know, load of work. And I kind of went to my husband and I told him, you know what, this is like overwhelming. I don't think I can, you know, my job is just, you know, a little demanding. And what do you think? And he's like, well, you know, let's go ahead and talk to your dad and tell him, you know, we'll support him and we'll go into business together. So that's that push and that support. And, you know, I told my dad, okay, Dad, let's do it. And it's kind of hard because, you know, you want to see the books, you want to see, like, is this, you know, there's a lot of restaurants in the area, and we don't have any experience. And my dad's like, I've been there for so long, we can do it. You know, I know the recipes, and, you know, I see the clientele. And, you know, we just had to go with his gut, and that's when we said, okay, let's do it. That's
quite the shift to go into a restaurant business. But your dad has literally decades of experience being there.
Yes, and that's where, you know, we had that faith, and yeah, he has a know-how and, you know, all the information that, you know, we kind of need as a foundation to build up, you know, that.
I see. And I would say, yeah, restaurant is a very difficult business, but you don't last as long as that restaurant has been there in the community if you're not doing something right, you know, and there is no other place like that. There is no other place in the San Gabriel Valley. And I know because I've looked for places like that. And the only Popeye place I found was in by the beach, by Newport or something,
okay.
Pretty far away.
Okay.
But yeah, so thank thank goodness that you guys had kept it going.
Yes. It's we just turned 50 years in the community, so we want to continue that legacy. With the support of our family, and it's been 2 years that we took over, and we're still striving and making improvements, and trying to get the word out.
Yeah, because you have to attract a new customer base, right? Because they're going to eventually get old.
You get phased out.
Yes.
So that's where my husband's help with Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. We didn't have that before, and then with social media, we don't have any knowledge of how to run that, but that's something that we implemented a website and just trying to expand and get the word out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I can connect to you. I want to help with that, mostly because I think this place has to stay around, right? It has to stay around. And yeah, so you already have a winning formula in terms of what you offer. So it's just getting that word out to what it exactly is. And I want to get more into that, but let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Sometimes, even the best of us can slip up. That's why the law offices of Scott Wormuth are here to pick you back up again.
And while they strive to get you the biggest compensation possible, oh my gosh!
Their main concern is your health and recovery. They work closely with doctors and insurance companies to make sure you get the proper medical treatment.
Initial consultations are free, so give them a call.
At the law offices of Scott Wormuth, we're with you all the way.
I'm Scott Wormuth. We've been fighting for your rights for more than 40 years.
All right, we're back with Sandra. During the break, you were sharing with me that your father never took a day off. That's pretty crazy.
No, 45 years.
I mean, surely he must have gotten sick. Wow. Well, before we get back to your story, when we come back from break, we like to ask questions from this deck of cards called Icebreakers, and it's just a fun way for the audience to get to know us a little bit better. Okay. So I'll be answering as well. Okay. So Sandra, in what way do you feel your childhood was happier than other people's?
So I didn't have sisters, so I just had brothers, and they were younger than me, so they had to listen. So if I wanted to play a game and it took them to either have to pretend they're a girl, wear a skirt, like they would listen and they would just cooperate, and it was like they're 5 years younger, so if I was 10 they were 5, so it wasn't a big deal, and they just kind of adapted and be like, hey, it's all for the sake of having fun. And that's what I remember, and a fond memory.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. I think for me, getting to be part of, not just being part of a Boy Scout troop, but being part of an active one and a great one, I really think that I was blessed to have that, because I would share stories of what I did on the weekend, where I would go camping and doing all these things, and my friends would just be like, this was so foreign to them, but I was doing this on the regular. So looking back, I know that I was really blessed to have that growing up. So if you're watching or listening, in what way do you feel your childhood was happier than other people's? Let us know in the comments. You made the decision to go in on this business. And what was one of the biggest lessons that you learned from, going from where you were working into the restaurant industry?
Well, I was still juggling both.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to step down, so I was doing my regular job and then still, doing Moffett's, either from home or in person. And just having the staff acclimate to the change and the customers, that was kind of a little challenge in itself, because I guess they felt that somebody new, and what are they going to change? Because that's what is fearful of a new business. Well, not new business, but just having a different management, where are they going to change something? Are they going to change the recipe? Are they going to change the cook? So that was something that I had to reaffirm and just, make everyone at ease that, we're not going to change the recipe. We're not, we're just, trying to improve and trying to make the place more alive.
So it sounds like there was like some resistance there at first.
Yes.
Is that mostly from customers, from the staff, or like where did that come from?
I think from both.
From both.
from both. Yeah.
So how did you overcome that?
I just integrated like as one of them. Like I'm not like, it's funny. There's one of our the cooks there has been there over 23 years. He actually grew up where my dad's from, and he saw me and I told him, "Oh, did you hear? We're gonna be coworkers." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like I'm not in any way like the law here or anything. No, it's just like, you know, we're equals. Like you have more experience, more knowledge. Like I'm just, you know, gonna learn and, you know, take it as face value and day by day." So just I guess I had to prove to them that I'm serious and I'm there to work and, you know, make the place run smoothly and, you know. So.
Would you say that was the biggest challenge of taking it over?
I in my perspective, yeah, because working with my dad, you know, it's different than that relationship that you have as a father-daughter than coworker. And then, you know, he is the boss. So, you know, trying to learn and him taking time to teach me while he's busy and doing orders, it was a little challenging in the beginning. I didn't have any knowledge. I cooked at home, but I wasn't like, okay, in a restaurant kitchen ready per se. But yeah, it was challenging.
What were some of the things that you knew needed improvement, and what were some of the things that you knew were like working well? Don't touch this. Let us keep going.
Well, my husband mentioned open early. So they used to open at 11. By 11, lunch is almost over. So we started opening earlier and having breakfast. So that was one of the things that was an improvement. And then opening on the weekend on Sunday. Sundays were closed. So Sundays was like a family day. We would make pot pies and, you know, go over, you know, menu, pricing, and just cleaning. So that was what we would do on family day, which was Sunday. So that kind of got a little overwhelming in the beginning, because it's like, okay, it's our only day off and we have to go to work. But, you know, we saw it as like, okay, spending time together, catching up. But then we would get those customers that would see us in there and that would like knock on the door and we would let them in and they would order something. It was like, okay, well, just leave the door open and we're over there cleaning and doing what we can. And then it started getting more frequent where people would come in and, you know, I would go in and lock the door and be like, yeah, sure, come on in. What do you need? You know, there's customers that don't live in the area that can only come in the weekend for, you know, a dentist or any appointments. And that was convenient for them. So that's when my husband's like, okay, maybe we should open on Sundays. So then Sundays started being half day until recently we open all day. Yeah, so just we're kind of like seeing what the community needs and, you know, providing that resource where, hey, okay, we'll stay open.
I would think that pot pies on Sunday, like that's where I think is like, I'm going to have a pot pie dinner.
I know. And it was just kind of like, we're not open on Sunday, but I don't want to cook on Sunday. So where am I going to go? So there isn't that many places that are open. And, you know, we just saw that as an opportunity to make that transition and open on Sundays.
So are you guys open 7 days a week then?
Yes.
Oh, man. And what's your day off, or do you have a day off?
Yes. I have plenty of time off. I still do some work from home, but, you know, I obviously I have to be there. So it's changed with the staff where there's coverage. You know, if I have an emergency, we know, you know, as parents, things come up, and we know that, you know, if someone's out, we need to be able to have coverage. So, you know, there's coverage for everyone. And that's what makes it more flexible where, hey, I said I wasn't going to go in, but I'm going to go in because I have to drop some food off, and, you know, vice versa. If I can't go in, you know, like, are you guys okay? And just making sure that everything's running smoothly. That wasn't in the beginning. At the beginning, it was, you know, I had my other job, and then I had this, and then I wouldn't come home till really late, and then ask for a demotion at work. They said, okay, well, because it's you're asking for it, we'll approve it. And then I was part-time at the school district, and then I was full-time at the restaurant. And then I needed to be present more at the restaurant. So that's when I said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to resign from my position. And then they were very understanding. And that's when, I just did the restaurant full-time.
I see. Are people eating pot pies for breakfast?
Some of my customers that do order that because they've never been there. So they're either doing construction in the area or, depending on their job, they see Moffett's Chicken Pie Shop. But don't let the name fool you because we have Mexican food too. So it's not often, but to go, yes. People will take pot pies to go, either baked or unbaked.
Oh, yes. Okay. And so the Mexican items, that was an addition when you guys took over. And those are are those breakfast items?
Yes, they're breakfast items and lunch items.
Oh, I see. Okay. You're offering those things for breakfast. And what time do you open now?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. And do you get a large gathering for breakfast or people coming in for breakfast?
I would say in the weekend, yes. Because that's when, you go to church or you are visiting or you just don't want to cook. And that's where I see that those big groups, or for dinner. But in the morning, it's more like, okay, they're taking burritos, or offices have, a staff meeting and they'll order sandwiches.
I see. Oh, okay. So what is the biggest challenge now for your restaurant, to last another 10, 20, 50 years?
Still getting the word out. Social media. That's a personal challenge. Not navigating, not learning when, I guess in the beginning of when TikTok was popular or when Instagram or Facebook. So not having any of that in the infancy, it's just, it's a little bit hard for me. I'm trying to learn, I'll tell my coworkers, how did you do this post, or, how to do this, and trying to learn for my kids too. That's where I have a little bit of challenge, and it just takes time because, you're busy trying to make things run smoothly or, do your other tasks, if it's payroll, whatnot. That social media gets pushed off to the side, but it is something that I think would we need to reinforce that and make that work so we could still get the word out. Now we do shipping, so all those people that used to live in the area that are retired, or all those high schoolers that are in college and that still want to have that comfort food, now it's available for shipping. So
awesome, that's really great. And is there something that you're excited about that you're working on with the restaurant right now?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen the aesthetics. I'm sure from online pictures, you'll see that we had wallpaper. We had the aesthetics was just more vintage. So we remodeled. We took off the wallpaper. We took off everything off the walls, and we're working on a mural. So the mural, I wanted to be dedicated to the history of Arcadia and to our roots as well. So that's what we're looking forward to and are excited to show the community.
Oh, who's the artist?
So we're still working on it.
Okay.
We already have a design in mind, but we're just working out the final tunes as to who can do this for us.
Do you guys have a wall that a mural could go on the exterior?
Yes, on the side. Yes, we have a big wall. So there's a back parking. It's really big, and there's a one. It says Moffett's, and it's on the side of the building.
Is it from the Naomi?
So if you are looking at the restaurant, and there's like a little walkway, and it opens up to the parking lot, and it's that wall.
Okay, so that's visible. Like you can only see it from right there.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I have to ask. We had a guest on who does murals for cities all over the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people go there just to see the mural, take pictures, but it draws also traffic. I don't know that wall has enough exposure, though. I don't know. We can see, but okay, cool. Anything else that you're excited about for the restaurant?
And then my kids work there. And
so you get to spend that time with them.
Yes, I get to spend time with them. They've learned a lot. how to just be more compassionate and have those conversations with, some of my customers that are maybe in their 80s and their 90s, and just learning from them too. So that's also exciting for me, for them to gain that knowledge and, just be able to have those conversations with those customers.
In 7th grade, I went to a convalescent home as part of school, and you matched up with a person.
Oh, okay.
And so I had a 96-year-old lady named Jane, and I just had a conversation with her. But I think like every kid should talk to older people. Just the knowledge that they have is crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And then I would always tell them, don't talk so fast, or listen, or speak up. They're always used to like either not having any eye contact because they're on their phone or whatnot. So it just makes it more personal and just more organic.
Sandra, we're going to move on to the final segment of the show where we get to learn where you like to eat in the San Gabriel Valley. So Sandra, this is called the SGV 3, and we want to know your 3 favorite places to eat in the SGV. So in no particular order, what's your first one?
Casa Jimenez. There's a lot of them, but, growing up in Baldwin Park, that's my Casa Jimenez.
Okay. And what kind of food is it there, and what do you like to get?
So they have Mexican dishes, and my favorite is the mojarra, which is, the fish, and it's fried with like bacon-wrapped shrimp.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, you got to try it.
Sounds like that's a place you grew up going to?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
And it's still my place.
Oh, you still go there?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the second place?
The second place, Guadalajara Grill. So it's also in Baldwin Park. So I remember, if you have any friends from out of town or whatnot, that's the place to go, for the mariachi. And then those handmade tortillas, they have a buffet in the mornings too. So that's also one of my favorite places.
Okay. What do you like to get there?
So I enjoy the buffet.
Oh, okay.
So they have a really broad buffet, either salads or tacos, menudo, things like that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. And the name again?
Guadalajara Grill.
Okay.
They have mariachi.
Oh, like every night?
Yeah.
Every night?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Any friends that were from out of town, that would be the place for us to take them, because, it's the music and the food is really good.
Okay. Awesome. And the third place?
And third one's in Alhambra. So Savoy Kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's a surprise, but yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yes, so the Hanan chicken, living and in San Gabriel Valley, that was, a cuisine that, it's not so much out of the norm for the kids, for the little ones, if they're picky, it's really flavorful.
Were you going there before it was like super popular, or like?
Well, so like I said, after Moffett's, I got an office job. And one of those jobs, I was in Alhambra for 5 years.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then, moved on and then came back for Alhambra Unified School District, working there. It was also, in the area. So
Savoy is like a icon of Alhambra and Hainan chicken.
Okay.
Now it's like just packed all the time.
Yes, yes, it's for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing those with us. And Sandra, thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story with us and the story behind Moffett's. If people want to come visit you or even check out, what you guys have to offer, how can they do that?
So they can visit us, 1409 South Baldwin Avenue in Arcadia. They could check out our Instagram, Moffett's Family Restaurant, and our website is moffetts-familyrestaurant.com.
Thank you so much for being here, Sandra. I'm really glad that you came today. Well, there you go, another episode in the books. I hope you enjoyed that. I always love to hear the stories behind these restaurants in our community, not just the new ones that are popping up that are gaining a lot of traction and instant recognition, but more so the ones that have been here and stood the test of time. Because, I've seen restaurants come and go in a year, 2 years, 5 years, and the ones that have real staying power, like there's a reason for it, and I'm particularly partial to this restaurant mostly because I love pot pie. I really do love pot pie, but there's such a history to this restaurant. You can almost feel it when you walk in, or even the signage there. And I think that institutions like this, deserve to be recognized and should be here for as long as they can be here. I do understand the conflict between remaining how you were and also changing for the times. However that looks in the future, I still hope that you go and support them. So if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to like and share. That really helps us out. And if you want to see more of our episodes, check out our website, mysgv.net. And you can still get a MySGV Food Passport, mysgvfoodpassport.com. They're good through the end of June this year, 2026. So until next time, we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us on the MySGV podcast. Check out more of our content on our website, mysgv.net. This show was produced by Scott Wormuth, directed by Russell Mano, edited by Victoria Allers, and original music by Yone OG. If you'd like to join us next week as we capture and share more stories from our diverse community, feel welcome.
Nice mother. No, kind of mother.